Currently, Dollywood offers 10 awesome roller coasters, but the big news out of Dollywood is that it's been stated in the past that we have to be on the lookout for 2026. That is going to be the year that Dollywood will be opening up their new coaster, and I am very excited about it, but one question is, we really haven't heard much of anything over the last year or so about this project. So what type of coaster will Dollywood be building? Will it please the families or the thrill seekers, or both? Where will it be located, and just how large will it be? My name is Brandon, and welcome to Theme Park Recommendations. I'm really glad you're here, and Dollywood is one of my favorite theme parks out there. It's really hard to find something that you don't like about the park, and with all the rumors going around about their project 2026, I am completely intrigued by it because Dollywood has the room to build something large. It also has the money to build something large, and the attendance warrants it because Dollywood is so packed. And if you look at the collection of coasters that Dollywood offers, they really don't offer that many high capacity coasters besides Wild Eagle. I mean, Thunderhead, 2 trains, that's great. Lightning Ride, I think, runs 2 trains most of the time now, so that's much better than the 1 train. But Big Bear Mountain only runs 2 trains usually, and it should be at 3 trains, so that's a very long ride. In fact, Big Bear is the longest ride in the park. So if you look at all the coasters that Dollywood offers, they could really benefit from something that offers high capacity. We're talking 3 train operations, and the line never stops moving. And I really feel like the next 10 years, just like the last 10 years, will become the biggest in Dollywood's history. I really feel like this park's going to open up. I mean, obviously they've already announced that they're going to be opening up another resort in the campground, I believe. But it would not surprise me at all to see this park rapidly expand over the next 10 years. And 2026 is going to be the start of that. And that is why I do feel like this project will be a roller coaster and one for the thrill seekers. Now, they've had surveys in the past and the rumors about maybe an indoor coaster or another family coaster coming to Wildwood Grove. But when you have rides like Fire Chaser Express, Dragon Flyer, Big Bear Mountain, those are 3 of the best family coasters in the world. At this point, Dollywood really could benefit from a ride that isn't overly intense, that offers a bunch of different airtime moments and high capacity. Yes, I would love a hypercoaster at Dollywood. I think that that's one of 3 choices that I'm going to be mentioning to you that I feel like has a legit good shot at what's going to be coming to the park next year, or 2026, so it'll be announced next year. I just feel like having a hypercoaster work off the terrain in Dollywood would just be epic. And there's so many great things that Dollywood could do with this ride when it comes to the theming, as well as the placement of it. I mean, again, Dollywood really lacks in the floating airtime department, and there's multiple manufacturers that Dollywood works with that could easily build them a top-notch hypercoaster that could be one of the best in the world. I mean, think about the views that you would get 200 some feet up in the sky, of the mountains out in the distance, as well as the park down below you. I mean, one can wish, right? But here's the thing. Again, Dollywood has the room, has the money for this, and Big Bear Mountain is a massive investment and ride. But there's a lot of land behind that for a major coaster, as well as the extension of Wildwood Grove. Whether that would be a Wildwood Grove extension or a new themed area, there's a lot of potential up on that mountainside. And a hypercoaster, let's say from Mock Rides, Intamin, or B&M, those are my 3 choices I think really could be the one for this project. Every one of those manufacturers make a stellar project when it comes to a hypercoaster. I mean, Mock Rides Hypers, there's not many out there, but what they have built in the past are phenomenal. And we know Herschel Entertainment loves working with Mock Rides, with Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City, so it would not surprise me at all to see something along the same size as DC Rivals, which is the Mock Hypercoaster in Australia, open up at Dollywood. Again, something like this that offers a lot of good floating airtime, some quick transitions, some tunnels, and other elements of the track that work off the terrain will be a huge win for Dollywood. Now, there's been rumors out there that Intamin and Dollywood really don't like each other right now. And again, every park has rumors, or every chain has rumors. You know, it's interesting. I feel like there's maybe some truth to that, but Intamin has really upped their game, as we all know, as of late, and they could really provide Dollywood with an insane hypercoaster that's a little bit more intense than the Mock Rides and B&M, but I feel like an Intamin hypercoaster would really give Dollywood that #1 potential coaster that the park could benefit from. And then, of course, you have the B&M Hyper, which I am totally okay with. B&M makes a great hypercoaster, and while usually they offer more of a slower pace, not as intense ride experience, the top tier ones are all great, like Goliath at Over Georgia, Mako at SeaWorld Orlando, as well as Diamondback at Kings Island. So if Dollywood could have B&M build them a ride along that same size as well as the intensity level, then I think it's a great fit for the park. Now, here's 2 other coaster types that I really feel like could be the next coaster just as much as the Hyper. My heart wants the Hyper. I need some good air time as I see the Smoky Mountains off in the distance. But Mock Rides just opened up Voltron at Europa Park, and this ride looks phenomenal. This is a Mock Ride Striker coaster, and pretty much they can do anything a park could want with this model. Launches, reverse launches, turntables, inversions, airtime, stalls, you name it. This ride looks phenomenal, and I've heard nothing but great things about it. And again, Dollywood could be operating 4 or 5 trains on this giant layout to really improve the capacity for the park. Because Dollywood really could benefit, in my opinion, from a roller coaster that features inversions as their next ride. Because the last coaster that Dollywood opened up that flips riders upside down was Wild Eagle, I think in 2011. So it's been a long time. So I really feel like a Mock Ride Striker coaster just makes a ton of sense for Dollywood. Now the last one, I really think a Mock Rides Extreme Spinner would make perfect sense for Dollywood. We all know, again, Time Traveler was a huge hit for Silver Dollar City, and to build a similar style ride in Dollywood, I mean, let's face it, just makes a ton of sense. But I feel like there is a chance that they might go a different route with this, and maybe they call it Vekoma, since Vekoma has provided Dollywood with their last 2 coasters, Dragonfire and Big Bear Mountain, for this project, and maybe we get a Vekoma multi-launch coaster, something like Abyssus over at Energylandia, to open up at Dollywood. I would be okay with that. I would personally prefer the Mock Rides Extreme Spinner, but Vekoma makes a great coaster product, and these multi-launch coasters that the company has been building as of late look stellar. So I'm okay with that too. I'm really just intrigued to see exactly which direction Dollywood goes with this project, because it would not surprise me at all if we start seeing land clearing by the end of the year, because this large of a project is going to take some time for the park to build, and this time next year we will all know what the park is adding in 2026. So that is very exciting. Now, to give you guys some percentages, I'm going to say I'm going to give the Hypercoaster a 40% chance of happening for Dollywood, and then I'm going to give the Mock Rides Extreme Spinner a 30% chance of happening, and I know the Mock Rides Striker Coaster would also be getting a 30% chance of happening. Again, this is a very tough prediction to make because all 3 of these coaster styles make perfect sense for Dollywood. And if you love Dollywood just as much as I do, then you have to check out my Dollywood review at the bottom of your screen here, where I share with you my honest review and the 7 biggest categories that the park offers. So definitely check that out. So what are your thoughts and predictions for Dollywood in 2026? Let me know in the comments. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and of course, keep riding coasters.